Welcome to the Mel Movie Podcast. I'm so glad to have my friend here, Chris Chavez. You can follow him on socials, Nerdistic0 on TikTok and Nerdistic22 on IG and also YouTube. Hi, Chris. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to talk about these two films.
Yes, we have such a good discussion today. Today we are discussing an indie director, Jennifer Kent, and her two movies, Babadook 2014 and also The Nightingale 2018. And you know, these movies, I would say the Babadook is more widely known, but I think The Nightingale is my personal favorite out of the both. So let's talk a little bit about Jennifer Kent. And she was born in Australia and she had a degree in performing arts. She did some acting and then she transitioned over to directing. And so as far as I know, she has a total of 3 movies, Monster 2005. I didn't see that one, unfortunately. But her most iconic ones, Babadook 2014, got a lot of praise, critical acclaim. And then Nightingale 2018, that's the second feature film. I would say like widely known feature film. I would say not as well known, but honestly, just as good, or in my opinion, even better. So let's go ahead and start sharing our thoughts about the Babadook. So what were your first impressions? Because I think Babadook, this is a rewatch for you. You've seen it previously.
Yeah, I saw it. Oh, man, I don't remember the first time I saw it because I never heard of this actress, the director, before. And when I heard about this movie, I saw the trailer. I love horror movies. And so I was like, oh, I'll watch anything in that genre. And so when I first watched it, there was like a few things, I know we're going to touch upon, a few things that popped in my mind about certain characters. But first watch, I enjoyed it. I had an issue with the ending when I first watched it. It's a completely different feel the second time you watch it. But for the first go around, yeah, I kind of had an issue with the ending, but I did enjoy the movie.
I would say overall my thoughts on the first time I saw the Babadook, which is around when it came out, around 2014, maybe a little bit after that. I would say I liked the movie. I didn't understand maybe all the hype, but now on this rewatch, I'm understanding more of the hype of why people are finding it scary, because I'm like, this isn't scary. But really looking at the movie, it is a little bit more scarier, the situation that they're, portraying to us than it was the first time I watched it. Like, just for scares, it's not really scary, but the situation is kind of scary. And if you put yourself in the position of the mother, you're going to find yourself a little bit like losing your mind. Essentially, she is losing her mind.
That's not more on the line of like jump scares or gore or anything like that. It's crazy because there is a monster, demon, ghost kind of thing, but it's also more of like a grief kind of thing. Is like the thread between that whole film.
And so basically the premise of the Babadook is that we have a mother, Amelia, who has a son, Samuel. He's about 6 or 7 years old. He's having a lot of behavioral issues in school. By the way, major spoilers. We're going to spoil everything. We're going to say everything. And probably some more behind the scenes things, because I've seen some interviews about the movie. She has a son. He has a lot of behavioral issues. He gets kind of suspended from school a little bit. She is, I think, like a hospice nurse or something like that. She works in like a care facility. So she's constantly taking care of people, her son, and she's just basically like on her last thread. She's just like totally burnt out. Her husband died on the way to, as she was going to the hospital to give birth, like died in a car accident, a terrible car accident. So Samuel never knew his dad. But this whole time she has been grieving his loss, and it's been approximately 7 years since that incident. He's about 6 or 7 at this time. So this movie is essentially Amelia dealing with that. And honestly, she deals with it very poorly, I would say, up until the end.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. So the first time I watched this, and I was telling you, Chris, I found Samuel so annoying, super annoying. I'm like, man, this is the worst kid. Honestly, now on the rewatch, this is not the worst kid.
No.
More like the mother is not seeing the signs of his behavior to maybe address the issues. She's like, I'm going to talk to him for his bad behavior. Guess what? She doesn't. She doesn't talk to him at all. She just, here's the thing, like, let's go have fun. She doesn't, I'm not saying she needs to discipline him hard, but there was no talking to. Like, she told the principal and the teachers that she was going to do it. And so that doesn't help the kid either.
Yeah, I felt the same way. The first go around, Samuel was just so annoying to me. And I don't know. He just rubbed me the wrong way. He kept just whining and he just annoyed me. But yeah, the second time I felt so bad for her. It's
Yeah.
just both of these characters are going to need therapy after the fact of how everything ended, to be honest. More so the child, because of how much trauma that kid. I mean, he stabbed his mom in one of the
Oh yeah,
scenes.
like
So, I
later on,
mean,
yeah.
later on in the movie. So it's just like, there's so much to talk about there with the therapist. But yeah, later on, I felt so bad for Amelia. She just had such a rough go with life, with the loss of her husband, and then
Mhm.
what's going on with her kid, and then this Babadook thing. I mean, it was a sad premise if you really think about it.
It was. So she's basically on her last thread. Sam is having behavioral issues. She decides to, or she sees a book. She reads the Babadook book to Samuel. And when she reads it, I guess, is it like a, let's say for the sake of this movie, is it a curse or a spell? Because it basically brings the Babadook into existence into her life,
Yeah,
or what she seems or feels like it is. I mean, it's all a metaphor, but let's say for the
it
sake of
is.
the movie, it's kind of like a curse, like in Evil
Yeah,
Dead, you read it and then now you have evil spirits. Well, the Babadook is now introduced into their house and is kind of stalking her in her and Samuel. And he keeps seeing the Babadook. He keeps bringing it up. And now she's seeing the Babadook all the time. And then the movie progresses to where it's like she hears or sees the Babadook, but then he makes himself known more so as the movie continues on. And
correct.
she's seeing the Babadook everywhere, and it's like ruining her life even more so. Less sleep, more stress, freaking out, imagining things, and she's just spiraling out of control. Once we're by the end of the movie or middle half to the end, she is totally out of her
She's
mind,
lost it.
basically.
I
She's
think
lost it.
the only thing that was remotely creepy, to be honest, was hearing the Babadook say his name. That was, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that
Like
was
when I first
creepy.
heard that, I was like, okay, that's kind of creepy.
There were some scenes that were creepy with the Babadook in like the corner or like the side of your eye, or like
When
she
she's laying
was
in bed.
looking at a window and she sees the Babadook. That's a bit creepy, but that's like half her imagination, half the movie, movie magic. Is it a monster, not a monster? I think in the movie it is a monster for the sake of the movie,
If
but it's all a metaphor.
Exactly. So the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, it's a monster." Second time I saw it, the monster is the grief.
The
Essentially,
grief
it's
that
like
she's
the grief
experiencing.
manifested in Babadook. Yeah.
Right. And so the Babadook, he is dressed like very nicely. He has like a
Yeah.
hat and a coat. And I was thinking like if we should have had picked some movies for Pride Month, but I did want to bring up that he is like a LGBTQ icon, the Babadook. He's very cunty. He's got a lot of sass. People just resonate with the Babadook. They really I think he appeared in like a RuPaul's Drag Race, or they made some edits with
Really
that. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating, but they've done some edits with the Babadook, and
interesting.
he's just like well known in the community, I suppose. So shout out to the Babadook.
Shout out to the Babadook. I know you're listening.
For being part of the community. So I would say in the movie, though, the Babadook, what the Babadook in the movie, yeah, is not entirely that scary. But I
It's
do think the situations that happen with the mother, her losing her
Yeah.
mind and like hallucinating and like not knowing what reality is, that is scary.
It is, yeah. I mean, and it was a smart way to put it into the horror category with like adding this horror element to as the Babadook, but like I don't know, it's just a very well written and just conceived of something that's like this is what grief is, but yet it's going to be still kind of trying to make it still scary to appease this genre, but. I don't know. It was fun. The second time, I really enjoyed it. And also, if my child wanted me to read that book, I would throw that book away without even opening the first page because that book is creepy.
No, come on. That was a scary book. It was like, and it was cute too, and it had like a little rhyme to it.
It
And then at
did,
the end,
yeah.
it was like
Well,
it
it
was
was pop
giving
up
me
too.
like Shining vibes when she read the book again. She tried to get rid of the book. The book
Yeah.
came back. When she read the book again towards the end, it was like her killing Samuel was portrayed in the book, very like Shining-esque, kind of right there at the end. Like she was getting basically possessed or overrun by the grief at the very end. That's like basically the climax of the film,
True.
basically
Yep.
like right at the end. So I do have some thoughts. This Amelia, man, 7 years is a long time not to get it together. I'm sorry. I know you lost your husband. You're going through 7 years is a long time. Also, in Australia, where this is filmed and where she is, there's like universal health care. Like, go to therapy, girl. Like, I'm sorry. It's like try to do something for yourself. It just seemed like she was just going through the motions and like living with her grief this entire time, but it was really to the disservice of her son because he was he was suffering because he was not getting kind of like the attention or treatment or schooling
Right.
that would have been beneficial for his situation. She was just kind of ignoring those signs until the end. At the end, after all the events, they do put him into a school that she's like, "Oh, this will be a good fit." It's like, yeah, I should have done that earlier. maybe we would have
There's
some
the sequel.
behavioral problems if he was in a school that was able to address some of these problems like
Yeah.
more accurately.
Yeah, there's
So,
the sequel. It's like the Babadook 2, the therapy years, whatever it may be. But
uh,
the ending, though, I know I want to talk about what did you think first go around when you saw that they kept the Babadook and, they're just keeping him and they're, what did you think first go around?
the first time I saw it, I was like, for what? Like, get rid of this thing. But I think the point is you can't. So it's like the Babadook is a symbolism of the grief that she's experiencing or they're experiencing as a family. So it's random that they're feeding it the worms. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I don't
weird.
understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Well, I guess maybe it's like you have to feed it something that you're cultivating and you're cultivating the plants. And so worms come from the plants. I don't know. That's a stretch, but they're feeding it the worms. You have to keep it like available to you, I guess, or you have to keep it around, but you have to keep it at bay or you can't let it overtake your life, which is what was going on in the movie.
Right.
Where,
Yeah, I kind of the first time I saw it, same thing. I was like, this is why just move or kill it or do something with it.
yeah,
But yeah, the
move or
second
kill
time
it.
going around, I was like, yeah, it's grief. Grief is always going to be there, so you can't really get rid of it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't. I watch the Amy Poehler one. She had Audrey Plaza, who recently lost her ex-husband.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and so she was talking about grief, and she said it's kind of like a pit. It's always there, and you want to look at it, but if you look at it too long, you might want to go in it. So I kind of feel like that with the Babadook. It's like it's there. It's always going to be there, and if you let it start coming in your house or start, being around, then it's always going to be there. So you have
yeah,
to keep it in a place where you can see it, but not be like right at where it is like all the time.
interact with it right there. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like also the kid, he was seeing the Babadook as well, so he was experiencing that grief. That poor kid never even knew his dad.
no, never, no.
And he was fighting with everyone. He's like, I have a dad. All the kids were bullying him too. Also, that's messed up, those kids.
Yeah, right.
They're probably not saying that because they think it. Probably the parents are saying that. These
Probably.
kids are like 6 years old.
Yeah, I mean they echo whatever they hear around them. So yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
exactly. So parents are probably talking crap. Now the kids are talking crap. So I felt so bad for him in that scene when he pushed, I think it was his cousin,
Yeah,
off in the treehouse. I was like, girl, you kind of deserved it. I mean, I don't condone the violence, but
I mean, I want to know what Samuel will be like as an adult.
well, if he has like the therapy and he works with his mom together and they feed the Babadook
The worms, yeah, that'll be great. Yeah.
worms, then maybe he'll have a successful life. I mean, it kind of makes me think of like you have The Shining and then you have Doctor Strange. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
see what the son is doing in Doctor Strange. Like we can have a not Doctor Strange, I'm sorry, Doctor Sleep. We can have a Doctor Sleep for Samuel and see what he does later, the sequel.
I mean, you could. The Babadook could come out of the room there they're hiding him in, and yeah, you never know. I mean, it could happen, but that would be a whole other movie on Samuel's grief. So
There was one scene as well before we have like the major climax towards the end that the mother, she is just losing her mind. She keeps seeing stuff like, of course, the Babadook, but she looks behind the fridge and there's a bunch of cockroaches coming out of it, like from the wallpaper, from a hole in the wall. That was so gross. They were everywhere. And then come to show when we have I guess it's like CPS, something like that, Child Protective Services, they come in. She's like, yeah, I've had like this roach infestation, this hole. They're like, what hole? Man, she was like, okay, never mind. It was behind the wallpaper because it was like a hole, what we saw what she
Right.
was seeing. It was like, man, her life is spiraling. Now you're like really imagining stuff.
I mean, and also her performance, S.C. Davis, her she did really great. As portraying that, like, not crazy, but like really emotional, just this trauma from this woman. She did a great job, I thought. And if we really got annoyed by Samuel, the actor did great too. Noah Wiseman.
I saw like an interview that they were saying like to get him into like a very emotional place. They filmed a lot of the scenes separately because of what Amelia was saying to her son was really terrible things like you should have never been born, I should have killed you, you should have died or something. She was saying really horrible things in the movie. They're filmed separately, but then they were just telling Noah Wiseman, who was Sam, that they got rid of his Legos or that he's not going to be able to play with his Legos, and it brought him to a place of like getting upset.
Man.
So the scenes where that's going on, they're telling him stuff like you're not going to play with your Legos later, like pretend that's going to happen, and so he would get upset.
Brilliant.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I want to know if like years later he starts watching and he's like, that's what she was saying to me.
Oh, I'm sure he'll watch the movie when he's in the appropriate age because man, she tells him some really terrible things. Essentially, she gets more and more. She's not possessed. She gets more and more spiraling out of control as she's seeing the Babadook more, hallucinating things more, and then towards the end, she's basically, I guess, possessed by the Babadook. It's like a full-on possession where now she wants to kill Noah. Sam. She blames Sam for all of her problems. Essentially, like if you were never born, like I would have my husband. Like I would have rather have him than you in my life, like the husband and stuff like that, because they died on the way to the hospital, and it's just like fully possessed. And that performance is excellent. That is giving me like Toni Collette Hereditary vibes.
Yeah, it's on that level for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely on that level. I feel like maybe this film doesn't get as much recognition as it should, because Hereditary gets a lot of recognition. I love that movie. But she does a great job in this.
I mean, the thing when you with like a performance like that, acting scared is really hard. Like, you know, sometimes there's nothing there. And so to get into that spot of like, she just had a full on like panic attack in that movie, like tears and like, it's just really good. It just hats off to her.
I feel like also I feel like her outfits as well, because I like to critique the film, like watching everything. So she's wearing like a lot of like kind of matronly, kind of just like cardigans, just like outfits. She's wearing a lot of clothes from her work to her home life. So it feels like she doesn't really separate it that much. She's always caring for people. She has to care for Sam. She doesn't care for herself. So she tries to one time, she's on the bed. And then Sam comes and like ruins the like 30 seconds that she gets maybe to herself.
Right.
So I feel like she's also not able to separate work from home, like having that nurturing, caring for everyone, but she's also not taking care of herself as well. Right. And I feel like that's also why the Babadook is able to, like, you know, she's susceptible. She's not, you know, taking care of herself, and the Babadook is able to, you know what they say, like people who are vulnerable, like these demons or these spirits can easily possess you. So I feel like that's what's going on with her.
Yeah, she's open to
taking care of herself. Yeah. Sam, he does never get possessed by the Babadook. He just sees the Babadook all the time, in the car, in the room, everywhere, basically. We don't have a lot of sets in this movie, so there's not, you know, we don't have a lot of places where they could be. They're mostly in the house.
The house is like the main set. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. The house is the main set, and the house is a set, is a proper set. I have a problem with the house in that it just looks so like a set to me. Like,
I get that.
It does look very much like a set, and even the decor is all grays and blacks.
I think that's what it is. It's the color tone that they added. It felt more like, I don't want to say like a set you would see like on stage, but it had that like not fake, but like, I don't know. It didn't feel, I completely agree. It didn't have that like, this is a home.
Like lived in feel.
Like, exactly. Like a warmer, I mean, I get that's what the tone is that needed to be that gray, but I think they could have a little bit of saturation, just a little bit.
I feel like the only room in the house that had like that homey kind of like lived in feel was the kitchen. But then you get into the kids' room, not so much. You get into her room, it's grays and blacks. The living room, grays and blacks. It's just, it feels like a set. I think that is like one of the main criticisms I have of the film. It just feels too much. I understand it has to be a set. They like shrink rooms, they grow rooms, they have to film in the rooms, but it doesn't feel like they live there in some of the areas. It just feels like this is a set. So maybe they could have make it look a little bit homelier. Also, for a woman that is like, she does not have her life together. No. Her house seemed like a little bit too clean. Should have been more dirty.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
It also kind of looked like a set. It looked a little messy, but it should have been. The kitchen did look a mess in some of the scenes, but the living room, the kids' room, her room should have been more mess, because she's a mess.
It did get a little bit better towards the end Sorry, my cat's meowing. At the end, when the CPS workers came in for the last time, and there was a little bit more color into the scene, and the happy birthday banner at the top.
Yes.
So there was a little bit more liveliness towards the end.
I think they changed the sets as the movie is going through the movie. So I think it gets more gray and black right towards like the climax, like the last third of the movie, where it's not so much, but man, it just feels too much like a set to me. It doesn't feel like too much of a realistic house. Now, when we go into her sister's house, that feels like a real house. But maybe that's the point. The sister's house feels like a real house because they're, maybe not a real family, but they're, together. They're experiencing life together. In her house, it seems like she's just dealing with everything, and she just lets Sam kind of do whatever. Well, not really, but she does. She does kind of lose her temper towards the end, which is not normal for her. But there's no boundaries here.
There's just a big empty void in that house.
Yes, there's an empty void. There's not that family unit. There's her and her son, and her trying to deal with her grief, which is not working until the end, after she gets possessed.
By good old Babadook, yeah.
By the Babadook. And like you said, Sam stabs his mom. This is at the very end, and basically awakens her from her demonic possession. So I mean, this movie, I liked the second time watching it. I didn't find, like I said, I didn't find that kid as annoying. I understood more of like what the mother was going through. But man, she really could have had taken some steps to make her life a little bit easier.
Something. But yeah, second time around, it was good. I mean, I would definitely suggest it to certain people that would, are curious more about it. If you have, I mean, it's been out for a while, so, but if you haven't heard about it or seen it, yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's definitely not scary as in like, or gory. There's no gore really, but it's definitely got some, scary elements, because like, what if you were in this woman's, or what if you are in this woman's situation that this has happened to you? Thinking about something like this grief overtaking you, that could be a very scary thought. That could put you in a very dark place, which she was at the end when she was confronting her son and saying all those terrible things.
I think depending on where you are in your life, if you've experienced something like that, a loss of a husband or a wife, it may hit a little different than, someone who hasn't.
Well, yeah. Let's see what else I wanted to bring up. I also thought as well, even though I know the house is a set, she didn't want to downsize. That's a lot of house for two people.
That's funny. I never thought about that. Yeah, I guess it's a big, I
was like, okay, if I was a single mom, that's a lot of house to manage. It's like a kind of like a townhouse, maybe like 3 or 4 bedrooms, something like that. Just seemed like too much house for what she's able to manage. But I understand, like, her house where her husband was. She also had all of her husband's belongings like in the garage. Oh, not the garage. I'm sorry, the basement, where later they put the Babadook. And she's not able to like properly like talk about her husband. Anytime somebody brings him up, she like loses her shit. She just cannot deal with it after 7 years. I get it. First couple years is going to be hard. 7 years is a long time to be
and I think
like this.
Yeah, I think switching to like Samuel is and should be her focus from that point on.
Yeah.
But that whole grief is kind of blinding her from what Sam needs, or even just something as small as like happy birthday. You know what I mean?
Right. He's like, I've never had a birthday or like a birthday party. She's like, yes, you have. It's more like they've combined the birthday parties, but he hasn't had his own independent one. Like he combined it with his cousin or something like that. Or I think it's his cousin, her sister's daughter or something like that. So that she was not able to shift her focus to, okay, I'm not a grieving widow anymore. I'm a single parent. She kept staying in the role of grieving widow. And I have a kid. So she's not able to move on until the end, which is good. But man, it really took her to a very traumatic place. They both need like a ton of therapy.
Oh my gosh.
Like you said, after this. She also kills the dog. In this
I completely forgot.
I forgot that she did that. I have a note here that she does that. And I'm like, I thought it was Sam that did it, or the Babadook. No, it was her, because the noise was triggering her. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, lady, you do not have yourself put together to take care of a dog.
Right. A son, let alone a dog. It's funny because like when I see a movie where a dog, I think like everyone, if a dog dies in a movie, you're like, oh, I hate this because a dog died. I completely forgot about it because of everything that was going on with Samuel.
Yeah.
He was starting to be my main focus. So I completely forgot about it. That's funny.
It was happening right towards the end where she is really, really spiraling out of control. So it's like an accumulation of things that were going on that she was just losing her mind. And Poor dog. Well, it was like one of those little white, I call them white crusty dogs. They always got crusty eyes. Those little white crusty dogs just yep, 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 yep. It's like, I get it. It's very annoying. But lady, you have a huge house. You have a dog. You have a kid with behavioral issues that you have not addressed at all. And you're working a job you hate. Just too many things. You got to start doing some things here. You know, she just was very complacent.
Yeah, I would say move. A new location, a new change of scenery could help that. Yeah. But poor dog. So Sam, remember that dog you had? Well, now he's in a farm in heaven.
They never brought it up later, by the way.
No, they didn't. Yeah.
They didn't bring it up. It was like she just got rid of the dog's body, I suppose. I mean, it was a cute dog, but like kind of annoying. Well, they portrayed the dog as annoying. Obviously, right. I'm sure the dog is not annoying in real life, but the dog in the movie was annoying. Not that annoying for her to do that. Like, come on. Yeah. Poor kid. I mean, poor dog.
And kid. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I'm going to say the mom is the one that's the problem in this.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, you're not wrong. I mean, everything started from her grief. Yeah.
But you're right. If I ever saw a book like that, never going to read it.
No.
Especially don't read it out loud.
No, just put it back, throw it in the trash can. Whoever gave it to you, give it back. Yeah.
So what would you say would be your final rating or your final thoughts on the Babadook?
It's funny because the rating changes from the first time I saw it for the second time I saw it. The second time, I give it a good rating. I'll give it out of a 10. Is that what you're saying? Like maybe like 1 out of 10?
Out of 10.
I think the first time I gave it a 4, maybe a 5, because I didn't really understand what they're trying to tell. And then the second time, I give it a 7 or an 8, just because of now I understand the grief, the Babadook, what it meant. It's the kid's not annoying. You just kind of felt you understood the story more the second time around.
I agree. At the rewatch, I give it a higher rating as well. The kid was less annoying. I understand more like what was going on with the mom. I think the first time was just so jarring. Like, they normally don't portray children like that in a movie. But you know what? That's an experience for a lot of real people. So, or, you know, real life situations. That's a real experience. So I'm glad that they're able to portray that on screen. But the second time around, yeah, I would give it a higher rating as well. Maybe like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. Because I feel like this movie, I wouldn't say is enjoyable. Like, it's
right.
Not enjoyable. Like, I didn't feel like enjoyment, but I did enjoy the movie as a whole, the concept, what it's talking about with grief, the message. And then just like, you know, if you're able to address your trauma, maybe you can move on from it a little bit at a time instead of just bottling it up, being complacent. You do need to take some actions and steps in your life if you want to make it better for yourself.
Yeah, it was a good metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a good metaphor. Overall, yeah, I would say that this is a recommendation for me, and I would recommend it to people to watch if they haven't seen it. All right. Now, The Nightingale, the second movie, this is a rewatch for me, but this is a first time watch for you. So this movie, I was telling you, I saw it randomly on Amazon Prime, and I really like movies filmed in Tasmania. We have The Kettering Incident. That's a TV show that was in Tasmania. I love Tasmania. I feel like the scenery is beautiful. Everything is gorgeous. So I'm like, oh, I'm invested. I'm going to watch this. Wow. What I didn't think was going to happen in this movie. Wow. There's a lot of crazy things going on. So the premise of this movie is that we're in Tasmania in 1825 during the brutal Black War British colonization. And we basically follow our characters, Clare and her family, her husband and her child, as they try to navigate this. She is a Irish convict, and she went to prison for some petty theft, something very petty. And Irish people are treated as very low, not even second and third. They're like at the bottom of the barrel kind of category to these Englishmen, right? Like, they are treated very poorly. So she's treated very poorly in the movie, and some terrible things happen to her. Also, spoilers, we'll say everything that happens. So this movie, in the first 20 minutes, you get like I'm going to say you get a lot of action.
Yeah.
That's events happen in the first 20 minutes of the movie, and then the movie continues on, and you're just seeing kind of like the survival aspect of Claire and her mission of what she's trying to do. And then at the end, you get kind of like your revenge situation. So let me know, what are your thoughts of your first watch of The Nightingale?
So, I didn't know about this movie. And when we talked about doing this episode, I knew the Babadook. So when you said, hey, let's watch this one, knowing it's the same writer and director, I didn't want to see a trailer or anything. I just wanted to go into it blind. But knowing it's the same person who did the Babadook, I thought I was going to get the same kind of like supernatural-y kind of horror-esque movie. But when I started watching it, I was like, oh no, this is real. And the only thing I can think of is right off the bat, like the first note I wrote was really uncomfortable to watch. There are certain scenes where I'm just like kind of doing one of these things like, oh my God, they're really doing that. It's a deep movie. It's like really emotionally deep. And I really enjoyed it the first time. I don't know if I'll watch it again. But
it's very heavy. It's very heavy, the movie.
It's very heavy. But like you said, like it starts off, you kind of see where they have the setting and how, how she's presented and how the men are treating her and her beautiful singing. And then it kind of just, the whole premise of the movie begins in one scene that's just intense. Like you said, action, a different kind of action, but action. Yeah.
Oh, there's events. I say action, not like fighting. Well,
right.
A little bit, yes. Well, so we have Claire. She works for Lieutenant Hawkins, who is played by Sam Claflin, and Claire's played by Aisling. Is it Françoise? And I believe she's actually Irish, isn't she? I'm not sure.
I think so.
And then Sam Claflin, he's English. So that's pretty cool. And Sam Claflin, I know from like romantic movies, by the way, romance movies, like so many.
Even the Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games. I saw him recently in the TV show Lazarus, and then he was also in that movie with Emilia Clarke, where he was
Me
like,
Before You.
Yes. Yeah. So he has sometimes these romantic roles. So to see him play this despicable human being, worst human you could possibly imagine, I was just like, no.
See,
but Jennifer Kent had in an interview, she said that a lot of abuse happens. People portray it in movies like someone disgusting. A lot of the time they happen from people that can be very attractive and or someone that is like could be attractive to like generally. So it's like someone that is you would deem as like, oh, this is a good person in society. Those people can cause a lot of abuse as well. True. So that's what she was trying to portray with casting him, because he's not disgusting. His actions, he is a despicable human, but he doesn't look disgusting. No. So you would never think that when you first watch the movie. The first time you're like, he's kind of like a little bad, but he can't be that bad. Oh no, he is that bad.
Yeah, like it's crazy because I've seen a lot of interviews with Sam with like press releases on things, and he's the nicest guy when you see him in interviews. So when I saw he was in this, I'm like, awesome. He's a great actor. And like you said, he's a handsome guy. And when you first get to see him, you think, there's something you can tell he's not a nice guy. But to the extent of where his character arc goes from that beginning scene all the way to the end, you hate him more and more. This may be a hot take, but I put him on. You watch all the Game of Thrones, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. When you think of like horrible characters, God, now I'm drawing blank of the what, Joffrey? Not Joffrey. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. I forgot his name. Anyways, gosh, this is gonna drive me crazy. It's like later on today, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's his name.
Well, do you know his actor name?
Yeah, it's. Okay, this is gonna drive me crazy. I'm so sorry about this.
No, it's okay. He is a despicable human. So we have Lieutenant Hawkins, Sam Claflin, and he has taken out of prison, I suppose, Claire. He takes her out of prison. She's an Irish immigrant. I don't know what she's doing in Tasmania. There's some history things here that I'm not sure about, but she is Irish. He's English. They're in Tasmania. They're in this wartime. And by the way, this wartime is kind of like not a huge war, but a big enough war where a lot of people were killed, but it wasn't like to the millions. It was like maybe couple thousand, but that's a lot because Tasmania is not like a huge island or anything like that.
Right.
So he gives her the opportunity to like sing, to work in this colonial house. He gives her a horse. He gives her a hut, is what he says. Yep. She has a husband. I'm not sure where they say he's from. And then they have a child. And so at the beginning of the movie, you're like, wow, this is like, she's living like a pretty okay life. Like it's not too bad. The movie continues where we see more of Hawkins. He does some terrible things to her, sexual abuse.
Oh okay,
we see that one time, and then everyone in the house knows pretty much what's going on. The ladies that she works with, she's like, just get back to work. And then, I guess this was the first time that she experienced this violence, either so
Yeah.
much or so brutally from him, or this. I'm sure he gave her more every time he does something to her. He gives her like a little pendant or something. She had a bag full of pendants.
Right.
So it makes me think it's not the first time. However, it was up until what happens a little bit later, the worst time. Her husband kind of figures out what happens, and he's like, we need to just get away from here. We need to see if he will just release us. You're a free woman. We're married. We have some money. We have some things. We could get out of here. So the husband confronts Hawkins, and it does not go well. Hawkins says, I don't think so. And then everyone starts drinking. It's now nighttime. And Hawkins has already had problems keeping his soldiers in line. And these soldiers are the worst freaking soldiers.
Drunk,
they do every possible thing.
And
yeah, they do every possible thing incorrectly. They're drinking too much. They're like mooning everyone, shooting guns when they're not supposed to. And it's a problem. It makes it seem that Hawkins cannot keep his brigade together. And so he's trying to get promoted. He wants to move on up, and he hates this post. He wants to go into a bigger, better place. So they basically say, hey, if you don't get this together, you're not going to be promoted. Well, now the husband is drunk. Everyone is drunk. The husband confronts Hawkins again, drunkenly, and it does not go well at all. He really, you know what? I feel like if he wouldn't have brought it up, I'm not going to blame the husband, of course, for the actions that happen after that. But man, when everyone is drinking, that just goes to show if you're already a violent person, when you're drinking, you're just going to get even more violent.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And to escalate that too, of how, since he lost his position, that kind of tipped him the tipping point as well of just complete anger. And so oh gosh, in that scene, okay. I'm like, how am I going to form this sentence in my head? In that scene when he confronts the husband and wife and their child, when he starts to talk about, oh, we've been together, she loved it, and like he was egging the husband on, and then in front of the husband did the whole deed again, the whole, did the raping scene,
the whole
again,
assault,
in front of the husband. Like when that scene happened, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're like, it's such a horrible scene that it made you hate him obviously even more. And also, it's Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones is who I compared him to.
Oh, okay.
You just hate everything about this man, what he did, both characters. But that scene that started her journey on the revenge is just, I think, one of the hardest scenes to watch.
Yes.
Specifically when the kid is involved towards the end of it.
Right, because after the confrontation when they were drunk, now the soldiers and Hawkins, they go to the house, and you're describing, he tries to egg on the husband, saying like, oh, well, I've been with your wife. And I believe he has because of the pendants.
Exactly.
She has like a bunch. She has a bag.
Tons.
She has a ton. But she's kind of getting over that because she has a kid. She's kind of getting over that. Maybe without the kid, but now she has her kid to live for and to like be better for, right? So I think that's also, she thinks like that as well. He is assaulting her, and then it's very visceral. The visuals, she is like struggling, and Sam Claflin in an interview said he had a difficult time getting into the headspace of this Hawkins, but it's important to portray this, Jennifer Kent said, because during this time, every convict woman during this time would have had said that they were assaulted and they were raped. It was so common. You couldn't find not even one when she was talking about the history of like in Tasmania and in Australia. So it was very important for her to show that this happened, and this happened a lot. So yeah, like you're saying, now we have the kid there, and we all know, I guess, Hawkins has a thing with sound. He doesn't like annoying sounds. That comes again later with the other kid later, at the end of the film. He doesn't like the sound. He's telling his soldiers, shut that kid up. I thought maybe they should have just taken the kid outside.
Yeah, like
not take the kid outside.
Like I knew what was going to happen, but I didn't know how it was going to happen. And like, I don't want to give anything away because it's such a intense thing to watch, but man.
As soon as the kid stops crying, you see her just shift to just complete dissociation. She had already dissociated earlier, looking at a fireplace, complete dissociation. And then Hawkins told the other two soldiers that both suck. Well, one sucks more than the other one to, to try her out. Man, so terrible.
It's so terrible. The dialogue is so like I can understand from his perspective of like how hard that scene must have been to film.
Yes.
Not just the actions, but also the actual dialogue. It's just it was hard. But one thing that was really great by the director though, to show that pain with her after her baby died, to have the camera solely on her and no sound. Like it was just you saw her face and that said it all.
Yes. So basically at the end of this, they call it like the hot night scene, Now she has no family. We started off the film very happily with a family. Now no family, zero family, all taken away from her by basically her employer. Basically her boss, Lieutenant Hawkins, and the other two soldier guys. So she goes and she I guess tries to find out where he's going. She's trying to get at him. She's already like has nothing to live for at this point. She's like, I don't care what happens to me. It's like I guess like already her revenge plan is like in her mind. Like she's in need for like some kind of she needs. Man, I don't know, because it's not a lot of dialogue. It's just raw emotion that you're viewing from Aisling. So just raw emotion from her. She goes to her job. The ladies say that he's going to another town, I guess the next big town over. And then she goes to her friend's house and, she gives them the baby and they're able to, put the baby somewhere, bury the baby and things like that, bury the husband and stuff like that. But she basically goes on her revenge path. Soon after, she's like, he cannot get away with this. She's put up with too much. Yeah, so,
instantly after the hut scene, the revenge is like instant. She knows the plan. She knows what she wants to do, which, I mean, I guess, if I was in her shoes, I would be the same thing. I would be like, you're not getting away with this. Like, I'm going to find you kind of thing.
Yeah. She has a horse from her husband. That's like a big plot point because they keep bringing up the horse. And then they kind of give her a guide. Billy, who is Aboriginal Tasmanian, which is amazing. I love to see like Aborigines in movies like this that, are like, we don't see enough of like Tasmania and the Aborigines, Australian Aborigines on film. So I'm always like, I really love when we see like characters that show Aborigines like culture. That way I can learn more about it as well through media. And he's her guide. He knows the land. So he's going to be able to take her to the next town. I forgot the name of it.
I forgot the name of it too. Yeah,
it's like something with the L. Lostin, something like that.
That works.
Yeah, they go on their journey, and it's very hard for her. She is a very low class citizen, right? That's what we said earlier.
Yep.
Billy is even lower than that. They call him boy. They call the Aborigines blacks, and it's all very derogatory. So she treats him lower than her, but in the eyes of the colonialists, they're the same. They're the same. Like they're less than human. It's terrible. It's terrible, honestly.
Horrible.
Yeah. Billy, he's a really good tracker. He's able to track where they're going. He knows the land. He's telling her about his people. He's telling her about his experiences. And they're able to relate as being like people who were given like the short end of the stick, and also like having their families killed and being put in positions to try to change yourself from your culture to try to fit into this colonial paradigm.
Yeah, I mean, Claire and Billy, their characters are mirrors of themselves. I mean, it's like to have both of them meet up and go to this journey together was supposed to happen. It was a great partnership, a great relationship.
And so we see a lot of the movie. So the first 20 minutes of the movie is all the events that happen with the family. I would say the next, because the movie's 2 hours and 16 minutes, I would say the next hour is going to be them traveling and what they do during their travels. Finding food, dealing with leeches, crossing rivers, and then Claire. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Other people that they've come across that are kind of making their way through wherever towns they're going to as well. So there's a lot of adventures within the adventure that they go on.
Right, and every person that they encounter is a threat.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. Think about living in a world where every person you encounter is a threat, but to her and to him, everyone is a threat because they are considered less than than like a white colonial man during this time. So
And they show that a little bit, like for like a split second early on in the very beginning when she's making dinner. She's going out to get water, and she was holding a knife in her hand while she was holding the baby. So it's like,
mhm,
okay, this
yeah,
is a dangerous place to be. They give it a little subtle, like, okay, it's gonna get worse kind of feel to it. Yeah,
it didn't look dangerous, her path that she was walking necessarily,
right.
but she was holding that knife, and it's like, wow, you can't even get some water without
Yeah,
potentially someone attacking you or potentially something going on. Wow. So right, they're going through their adventure. I say adventure like
adventure.
this. It's not adventure like we're gonna have a fun adventure. No, there's
Like a
nothing fun
hobbit.
about any
Yeah.
of this. She's trying to get to Hawkins and the soldiers as quickly as she can,
Mhm.
even if it's at the cost of her health, at the horse, at Billy. She does not care. She needs to meet up with Hawkins. She needs to. So a lot of the movie is her pushing herself to like pushing her body past her limits. By the way, she's still like postpartum. You see her lactating. She's having like, postpartum things going on in her body. She's not like at 100% like at all. And she's also having a lot of nightmares of her
Oh yeah.
family and of hearing Hawkins yelling, "Shut that baby up." Oof.
Gosh, and yeah, and you hear the cries at night. It's like, oh my gosh, this poor woman.
She's dealing with a lot. She's not able to sleep well. They don't have any food. By the way, they were filming, Jennifer Kent says, during like autumn, like winter time in Tasmania. Like, and it was cold. It was actually cold. And when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, that looks cold. And I will say, I saw the movie recently. What is it? I think The Yeti. It came out this year. They're supposed to be in a cold place. It did not look cold. They
Yes, they do.
looked cold in this movie. They are actually cold in this movie. So I feel for them, like the actors, it's actually cold.
That scenery, I mean, like you said, you like stories and films that are in that region of
Yes.
the world. I thought besides like the movie, the dialogue and all that stuff, I thought the locations were really, really pretty and also hauntingly beautiful. Like there's some
Yes.
bright, nice places, and then you're like, I don't want to be in that spot, but it's kind of pretty in a weird, horrifying way.
Right. The landscape really does lend to like what the characters are going through.
Yes.
And as she's like getting more and more like this movie is different because she's not spiraling. She has an objective.
Yeah.
She's a one thought woman. She needs to do this. She needs to do this. So, but the terrain gets more and more difficult as she's getting closer to her goal.
Yeah.
Until like at the end, but right before they get to the town, then that terrain gets a little bit easier. But the terrain gets harder and harder. They cross like a river that is very difficult.
Right.
Billy's like, we cannot cross this river. They almost die crossing that river. He's like, that river is too high. Correct.
And it just swept them away. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, if that horse died. I was like, man, because the horse named Becky and it was her husband's horse.
That's all she had left of him. Yeah.
That's all she had left of him. She's like, I was like, if something happens to this horse, seeing like the Babadook, that like the dog, I was like, no, we can't have another animal die. Like, but we did have like a baby die. That's terrible. But come on. Also, don't let an animal like a horse die too. The horse does not die.
Thank God. Yeah.
By the end, no. The horse is totally fine. Thank God. But so they go through a river that, like I said, there's leeches. They go through very tough. It's not tropical jungle, but it's like a forest jungle terrain. It's a little bit different. It's not tropical, but it is tropical as well. But it's also, I don't know. I'm not. What's the foliage categorization
had that
there?
vibe.
It's like forest.
Yeah, it had that tropical vibe, but it didn't really feel it was like its own, not enclosed, but its own kind of thing, its own environmental thing.
Yeah, they were having a hard time going through the terrain, but there is a path that Billy knows about. And that's the path that Hawkins and the soldiers are going through. So the Hawkins and the soldiers also have Charlie, who is their Aborigines guide. By the way, these are all of their fake names, Charlie and Billy. That's not their real names. That's just the names that these colonialists gave them, which I hate because I'm like, you can't even like take the time to. No, they wanted to turn them into like indoctrinate them into their own colonialist way and to strip them from their culture. So I hate that. Like they call them boy and then they call them these names. And I'm like, that's not their names. It doesn't even sound close to their names.
Yeah, that bothered me too.
We do get their names. They do say, or at least Billy does say his name, and it's not that. So yeah, they're going through the terrain, and Hawkins, he has a kid with him. How old is that kid? Maybe like 8,
8, 9, something like that.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a little kid. He has Charlie, the Aborigines, and then the 2 crappy soldiers. Man, the worst of the worst.
The one that's the worst is Roos, right?
I think you're right. Yeah, Roos.
Yeah, he was the other one that I'm just like, I can't wait till your death scene happens.
That actor, I think he plays a lot of villains. He
He
has got
does.
like a villainous face, but that guy's like a totally nice dude too, like in real
Yeah.
life. Man, what a terrible character. The whole time, this soldier, Roos, the one you brought up, is like out of control. He does not listen to what Hawkins says. Also, Hawkins is trying to portray himself to be a leader. He cannot lead anybody. He's a terrible leader. Terrible. Cannot manage his soldiers at all. Roos finds a Aborigines woman with her small child.
Yeah.
I think the child, I remember the child's name. It's Kano.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And they take her. He's like, oh, I want to have a try at her. You know, you've had women like this, Hawkins. Like, let me have one. Like, oh my gosh. Hawkins is like, fine, take her. But if she's a problem, then you've got to get rid of her. So basically taking her and leaving like the small kid. That kid was like maybe what, 8 months?
Man, it was like, yeah.
A baby. That was a baby. Yeah. Not as baby as
Not
the
a
other baby infant.
It could walk,
earlier.
but it couldn't really talk. Like, it couldn't take care of itself.
No, definitely not. So, but Hawkins also makes a point. Did you see anyone else around? Because he knows that these people, they travel in packs, of course. They're together most of the time. And then Roos lies and says, well, I saw like 10 dead ones. And then this is the only one that survived. So he lied. And then they take her. They do things to her, also assault her, probably everybody. The kid does confront them and says, were you hurting her? And then Hawkins just basically dismisses the question entirely.
Of course he did. Yeah. It's his MO.
Yeah, you hear her screaming and they, you know, it's terrible. All the women get assaulted in this
horrible time period.
Yeah, horrible time period, horrible people. Then 0 consequences for their actions. Just absolutely terrible.
Now, the other soldier that was with them, I have the IMDb up here. I can't say his name. Yago? Jago? Yago? Yeah. He just seemed like he was with the wrong people at the wrong time, because he had, out of the other 2, he had a conscience. Yeah. And so the things that he ended up doing, throughout the movie, it was eating him up. It's like he kept thinking about it and thinking about specifically the baby, because he was the one who actually killed the baby.
Yeah.
And that, like, you kind of, in a weird way, felt a little sorry for him, but not so much. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you got that feel for him.
I mean, I felt not that sorry for him, because I feel like I said, he could have just taken that baby outside.
True. Yeah.
Shut that baby up. It was like, can I just take this baby outside? Like, put it somewhere outside? Because then you wouldn't hear the baby, right?
Yeah. No, you're wrong.
Basically got that baby and like shut that baby up. Man, terrible. So yeah, Yago, but he does seem remorseful, at least, where the other 2 do not care.
They don't care at all. Whatever they feel like they're doing.
They're like, whatever, because they perceive Claire and everyone else as being less than them. So why would they care? Why would they care if they ruin their lives? Why would they? There's no consequences to them. Mm-hmm. There's not anything that's going to happen to them for doing these terrible things. And so that's why Claire needs this kind of like revenge redemption.
Correct.
Going on throughout the movie. Right. So it does not end that well for them, that they've taken this Aborigines woman, because her pack comes to find her. So, but it does not end well for that woman at all. Oh, and terrible. Nope. Terrible. Yeah, the pack confronts them and is able to stake Yago.
Yep. They got him in the leg. And
then the other ones ran away. But Claire is right behind them. She's like basically right at the heels of this. Of these soldiers. So she sees him in the distance. Like, Billy is like, oh, you know, there's a soldier, there's blood. And she's able to track him down. And that confrontation was so good.
Oh, it was so satisfying.
Yes, it was extremely satisfying. I felt like she was getting vindicated here for what had happened earlier. And he's like, please, you know, like, did he apologize?
Yeah, he said, I didn't mean to.
I
I just wanted to be quiet. He kept saying that over and over again. But it was such a satisfying, like, okay. And you can see it in her face too. Once the deed was done, it's like she knew that she can't go back across that line of like, I took you out. Okay, now I'm in for this for real now. The next 2, you're on my list.
She shot him. Well, he was already kind of staked in the leg, but then she shot him, I think, in the leg.
Yeah.
But then she shoots him again, and then his last dying words are "mother."
Yeah. Yeah. She knows. Yeah.
That is what she is or was.
She like repeatedly just kept stabbing him in the chest. Yeah.
Oh
And then
no, I'm sorry. That's it. She kept stabbing him in the chest. Yes.
and then the butt of the gun. Like, oh man, intense.
That was very intense and very good. And yeah, I like that what he said, that it's like he's treating, not him, but he's with people that are treating women terribly. And his last words are "mother," who is a woman. And she was, I'm just like, this guy gotta go. Man, he sucks too. He does suck too.
He does.
He sucks less out of the three, but he does suck too.
But he still needs to get out. He needs to be taken out.
Yeah, he needs to be eliminated. And he is. And this is very good when he is. However, Claire is now gone through a traumatic experience. She's never viscerally stabbed someone to death like this.
Yeah.
And it takes a huge toll on her.
I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, I love that we get to see that too, that she's just like, I can't believe that she did that. I get a lot of things that have happened in the past, maybe like 3 or 4 days, because the span of the movie is not that long, maybe a week total.
Yeah.
Maybe a week.
I mean, all that frustration she finally got to for the first time released when she cornered him. So it's like, yeah, I mean, everything is just, yeah, she's having a panic attack. She dreamt about the Yago guy after the fact. And so it's, I mean, obviously something like that's never going to leave your psyche. It's going to be glued in there no matter what you do.
But it was really good that she was able to take him out the way she did.
Oh yes.
I would say, however, he was the weakest of the 3 soldiers, Hawkins and then Roos and him, but she really needed that. So at this point, I believe that she gets a little separated from Billy, right? She gets a little separated from Billy. They're able to reconvene a little later. Like we said, they have their little adventures.
Yeah.
Oh, I also wanted to bring up as well, when at the beginning, when she first started her journey, I believe she saw a house that was on fire.
Yeah, with the mother and her 2 daughters.
And they killed the sheeps. I think that was the soldiers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because they blamed the blacks for it later. And I'm like, no, I don't think it was.
No, it was the soldiers. Yeah.
It was the soldiers.
Sure.
So the soldiers are doing horrific things and then blaming the Aborigines people for what they're doing, which I think is what they try to do later on as well. They try to say like, Charlie, something thing. And it's like, we didn't need him after all, even though, well, Charlie, he's still guiding them at this point.
Right.
But Charlie saw how they treated that Aborigines woman terribly. And Charlie, their guy, decides that fuck them.
Yeah.
He starts to take them into a path of not the path that they need to be going. They go off trail. And he gives them reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love it. It's like, how far? He goes, oh, soon, about a day and a half. We'll be there. And then they ask him again, are we there yet? Yeah. We'll be there. I love it. I love that he led them in just a random path. It was awesome.
Yeah, he was really trying to get them off the path, to really like screw them over. I'm sure he was an older guy. He was just tired of it too. Just tired of their crap, tired of them treating everyone like crap all the time. And man, these people, their ego is just, and also such fragile male ego as well. Like,
oh yeah.
Just the worst humans, worst men, worst humans depicted on screen that I've seen in a long time. Freaking terrible. So the Charlie just takes them off the beaten path. Billy is able to catch up, and he's like, Charlie, where are you taking them? Like, they know the land, so he can tell that Charlie is taking them like to screw them over, because that's not how they would get to that town. They would have to stay on the path. And, eventually the path gets like smaller, but it's still there. And then it becomes more like a town road as they're getting closer to the town, which we see a little bit later. Charlie takes them to the field, and he's like, this is what you wanted, all the land, right? Now you can see it all. And Hawkins is like trying to plead with him, like, no, please, I'll give you money. I'll give you this. And then the other soldier, Roos, the worst one, shoots Charlie in the head.
Something, yeah, stomach or head or something like that, yeah.
Shoots him in the head and is like, he was disrespecting you. And Hawkins is like, you can tell he has no control over his people, because he's like, this is the only guy that knows how to get us out of here.
Yeah, and it's like, I always think that Roos is like trying to be like, hey, look what I can do. He's trying to be like, I could be just like you. It kind of looks up to Hawkins in a way, trying to. It's like a big brother kind of thing. It almost feels like he wants to be him on certain
Right.
scenes.
I think he
But
does want to be him. He
yeah,
wants to have that power or that control. And you can see that he tries to do that when he takes a Aborigines woman, that he was like, oh, you can have her too. Like, we could share
yeah,
her.
yeah. Look
And
what I
it's
did.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, you've had one before. Like, why can't I? What are these conversations? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are these
Yeah.
conversations these people are having? Jesus. Anyways, they killed Charlie, and now they're in the middle of nowhere, like
Uh,
field Tasmania. Like, who, I don't know where they
open
are.
out the open.
They're far from the road. They're far from the road. But Billy knows the area, so he's like, Claire, we can catch up with them. They can go around, and we can meet them up at this point, and you'll be able to get them, to get Hawkins. You need to be ready. Claire is going through a lot of stuff. I think, is it during this time, like, they rest for a day, that he does like a ritual on her, because she's like losing her shit. He washes her clothes.
He takes
also
care of
gives
her
her,
essentially.
he takes care of her. He gives her like some medicine so that she can stop lactating.
Lactating. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's causing pain that she needs to, breastfeed, but she doesn't have a baby. So, but her body doesn't know that. So her body's going to keep producing milk. Yeah, it's only been like a couple days anyways. So Billy takes care of her during that night. And so now she should be ready to face Hawkins in this point. So they're going around this mountain, and they're going to meet them kind of like in this. She's going to have, what is it? She's going to have the high ground.
Yeah, she has literally the high ground. Yeah.
She's like Star Wars. Like, she's gonna have the high ground while he's like coming up to like get out of the, like, this valley over the mountain. So what did you think of that scene where she meets Hawkins
And freezes
right at that point?
I can understand why when she had, like, Billy kept saying, you have the shot, like, shoot, what are you doing? Like, I understand her hesitation because of everything that was going on. It's like, finally, this is the moment I could end why I'm doing this thing. And they looked at each other. And I think in that moment, it was like, I don't know, if I was in the same situation, I might have hesitated as well. Because it's like, all that adrenaline, all that stuff, what you did a couple of days before to one of their soldiers, it's like, I get it. I understand why she froze. She got shot in the process on the arm, but I get it. I understand. I understood her.
Yeah, she froze. I think also seeing, because he did the most abuse to her, even though Yago killed her baby, but Hawkins killed her husband and repeatedly assaulted her.
Correct.
So he did the most trauma to her. And I think it's also, something to be said of like abusers meeting, I mean, the people who are abused meeting, seeing their abusers again. Like after, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it was hard
After so
for her.
long.
Yes, the other soldier guy, she I don't think they had like any kind of interaction really beforehand. So that guy was like a stranger to her. But this guy, Hawkins, that was her boss. He assaulted her multiple times. He was just, I guess, like, her life revolved around him when she was at work. And even more so. And he's like, Hawkins said, I allowed you to have a family. Like, I allowed you to have all this. I could have had taken that all away from you, which ultimately he did. But, she couldn't, it was hard for her to meet her abuser in that circumstance and to stand up to him. She still hadn't, I guess, gotten to the place where she could do that.
And so, all that memories and experiences came flooding back when they got to see each other. Yeah.
Yeah, they saw each other. But, he doesn't care about what he did to her. So
no, not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. And during this kind of situation here, she tries to shoot at him, but he shoots her. And now Hawkins acquires Billy. Billy is now their guide.
Yep.
Because they separate. Billy's like, you need to get out of here. Like, they're gonna get you. Like, you need to, I'll find you later, or we'll somehow, whatever later. Which is true, because Billy is from the Tasmanian streets. Just kidding. He's from the streets. No, I'm kidding. He knows where things are, and he knows how to like get around. So, he's really knowledgeable. So he has faith in himself that he'll be able to get away from them. And also he's young compared to Charlie. So I don't think Charlie thought that much either, because, Billy is very spry and very quick. There's a lot of scenes in the movie that are like, Billy, you just show up out of nowhere or you disappear. He's like, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's like Batman. Like, you look, he's gone, and then he'll appear the next moment. Yeah.
Yes. Billy is very much like that. So now they're going on their way to town. Billy does actually take Hawkins, or he is taking Hawkins to town. But they have a confrontation in the town. Wait, I'm sorry. They have a confrontation on the road. Wait, I'm forgetting here. Because Billy is able to escape, and then he's able to meet up with Claire again. I forgot. What happened on the road?
They had this the confrontation. Yeah, they, gosh. Why can't I remember? Because there's certain things about this movie that I'm just like, I was writing notes as I'm watching it and kind of keeping my head down in certain scenes. I forgot what their conversation was about. But yeah, they're kind of, I don't want to say he was egging Billy on, but in the way that he does with all the characters he talks about, belittling him and calling him all kinds of names and just shoving him as a human down, essentially. It's like what that whole conversation was about. I forgot what it literally was, but it was that kind of theme about it.
Yeah. Billy is able to escape from them. He does meet up with Claire, and now they're both walking into town. Oh no, that's what it was. I'm sorry. That they were basically going to kill Billy, but Billy's able to escape because he's like, is this the main path to road? And he's to the town, and he says yes, that's what it is, because it was very quick. And then he's having that conversation like you're saying, but Billy's able to escape quick because he knows what he's doing in in this wilderness. So he meets up with Claire. She's still very shooketh, but she's still determined. She needs to get him. She did have her opportunity. She's not ready, but she's getting more ready. And I think that she's not. There's a point here. She's not quite ready yet, because I feel like in the movie they want Claire and Billy are trying to understand each other more, and as they're understanding each other more, the more successful they are in their quest. So they still haven't understand each other fully until we get to some old people's house. So some old people see them on the road because they're walking to town. They don't have Becky no more. Hawkins took Becky the horse, and some old people took him in. Some old English guy, I think, right? Yep. The wife is very apprehensive about it. She's like, I don't. And but the white old guy, the English guy, he's very accepting of them. She's an Irish woman and he's an Aborigines native, and he's like, yeah, come sit at the dinner table, like have dinner with us.
Yeah, he fed them.
You guys are people just like us. Yes. So Billy has a really good little monologue here about his experience and how he's been treated, and it was really emotional, this part. I was like, man.
And I think in that little monologue, when they both understood each other's story, that's where that relationship, that respect, they felt more as like, we're not different skin color, where it's like, you're a human, I'm a human kind of thing.
Yeah. Before, it felt like Claire was trying to be like, well, you don't know what I've lost, like trying to be like, you don't understand my trauma. And he's like,
you don't understand my trauma.
Murdered my people.
Yeah.
And then later Billy finds out that, he might be the last of his exact people, his exact tribe or group. So they have that moment in the dinner table. That was actually very sweet. I also like that it's like, wow, finally some people are not freaking assholes.
Right. It's like those two older people are the only characters that it was like a palate cleanse. You're like, okay, we needed this. We needed someone who was just loving and inviting. So I'm glad that they ran into them and they added those characters into that scene at that time.
I also feel like it also gives there's hope to humanity.
Right,
there are people that are good, not only for the characters people, but for us, the audience, of seeing a movie just full of terrible people the whole time, you know, or the people doing terrible things the whole time to innocent people, to people who are vulnerable, like women and children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hawkins also, so they have that bonding moment. And I like that Billy and Claire, they have this moment. They look at each other as they're sleeping. The wife is keeping an eye on them. She doesn't trust them at all. They have a moment. No words are said, but I think at this point, they have fully understood each other and their trauma. So
total trust.
Now they're ready to finish their quest, essentially. Well, I guess this is part one of their finishing their quest.
Yeah.
Part one of finishing their quest. So they're going to town. Man, they meet some, I guess, is this slave owners?
Yep.
Slave owners.
There's like 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Slave owners. And they have Aborigines, native people, chained and shackled up. And she pretends to, take Billy hostage. She's like, my husband's going to deal with him. He's been stealing from us. And then these people's like, oh yeah, these people did this and that. But the whole time Billy is having that conversation with the other, or those captive people. And they're saying oh, like, which tribe are you from, or like, who are you, and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, you might be the last one. You might be the last of your tribe. Like, they've killed them all.
Yeah, that's
Like,
where he learns it.
yeah. And then the slave owners, they don't like that they're speaking in their native tongue and just decide to kill them all. Like, right.
And Claire's face says it all after that whole scene when they finally like they pass each other, and you can see the sadness of like, oh my gosh, your people are gone, like literally too, like even more so. It solidifies that relationship even more because it's just that little moment. And it's once they're away from the people, she lowers her gun and then they walk side by side and there's just no dialogue. It's just like you can feel it. Like, I'm so sorry for this, but I'm right here next to you if you need me, kind of feel.
Right. She's been keeping Billy like at a distance, emotional distance the whole time, but they've been able to share some moments now. She's understanding a lot more where Billy is coming from and like the trauma that his people have been facing because of this war over here, a war that these colonialists caused themselves. It was no, I don't think I'm not sure about the history, but as far as I know, nothing happened. They just wanted to colonize and that's it. So they're heading to town. We've had those interactions and now she feels like she's able to confront Hawkins, right?
Yeah.
Hawkins is now dressed in his nicest, dumbest looking outfit.
A red, stupid button. Yeah.
Yes, he just with a hat and is there a feather? I don't know. Freaking ridiculous. Dumb as hell. Look dumb.
You just want to smack him. Like I'm not like when you see him in that scene when he's all dressed up the first time. Yeah, you just want to smack him.
It's terrible.
And it's horrible because I love that actor.
I know. Me too. Claire, she's in Aisling, she's in that movie, The Voyage of the Demeter.
Oh, yeah.
She's good in that. She's good in a lot of things that I've seen her in. But her character is not vile. Sam's character is terrible.
The epitome of vile, yeah.
Oh my gosh, the worst human ever. So he's like, I need to get rid of you. I thought I got rid of you. And then he's like, I'm going to tell people to come get you or whatever. But he has an appointment with, I guess, the head sergeant guy or whatever of this of this post, or I don't know. I don't really know. But they go into this tavern and this is like the climax confrontation of the film.
It is. Yeah.
This is part one. She's like, fuck this. She goes into the tavern. It's full of soldiers, but she's a woman. She has no weapon. She's just a woman with a bag. Yeah. And she basically confronts Hawkins and says, take all this back. Like, how many women are you going to rape? How many children are you going to kill? Which, by the way, he did kill that kid that he was traveling with because he thought that kid was annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate that sound. Yeah. It's horrible. I hate that sound.
God. It was a little kid, too. Poor kid. It's like, how many children are you going to kill? How many husbands are you going to kill? Like, what women are you going to assault? And I think she has this monologue that she tells him, or he's like confronting her too, like, take this woman, she's mad, she's drunk, she's a whore. She keeps going, no one stops her. No. They want the tea. Like,
they just sit there and listen.
They're like, they want the tea. They're like, tell us, girl, what did he do? Yep. What did he do, girl? I was laughing because they show the crowd and they're like,
yeah, everyone's like this. Exactly.
They haven't seen anything so juicy in a long time. Honestly, I'm making light of it, but it's not, obviously. She went through horrible things. But it was just a little funny to me. I was like, the townspeople are so nosy. So, like, the whole room got quiet.
Oh, yes.
And then we have the sergeant guy. He's looking, it's like, what the hell is going on with this interaction? Like, this Irish woman and maybe my new appointed, like, a sergeant guy, Hawkins, like, newly appointed. Like, what is this interaction? She keeps going. And I forgot who said it, that they said if there's so much emotion that it can't be portrayed in words, it has to be sung in a song.
Yeah, I loved that they did that. She
breaks out into a song about losing her love, her husband, and her child. But I'm not sure if it was romantic love, but she says her love. She breaks out into song, and she has a beautiful singing voice. And the emotion has overtaken her. She can't explain it in words, so she's now portraying it in song.
Right, and I thought that was nice. Great callback to the opening when she's singing. It was a great thread from then till from the beginning to the end. That was a great directing decision.
Yeah, that was really good because I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, girl, you're breaking out in the song. Now I understand. Now watching it again, I'm like, you can't say it. She can't say any more words. There's no more words.
Right.
It's just song.
And it
And
was
so
right after he hit
Mhm.
her in front of everybody. So that's the only thing she could get out.
Yes, it's kind of like she's a woman and she's just talking at him and he assaults her. He's supposed to be a gentleman. Am
Yep.
I right? An English
Yep.
gentleman. He is not a gentleman.
No.
And he does it in front of all of his peers and his like sergeant boss, lieutenant bosses, I don't know, whatever. And he just looks, he is an asshole, but he looks like an asshole in front of everybody now, slapping the crap out of her. He slapped the shit out of her
Yes.
super
Yep.
hard. And she starts to sing like you're saying, because there's no words to describe what she's feeling anymore. It's now a song. And she leaves. And they're like, we need to get the hell out of here. We need to get the hell out of here. So like we were saying, that's part one of their final kind of like adventure resolution. Part two, Billy has now decided that enough is enough. You know, these people are terrible. He hated what they did to Charlie. They killed Charlie because Charlie was taking them off the beaten path because Charlie was like, fuck these guys, like trying to ruin our, you know, trying to kill our Tasmanian people or Aborigines people. Like, you have no respect. You have nothing. He probably would have not done it if they hadn't done any of that.
Probably.
And then also taken them all the way to the town. Like, okay, whatever. They're not problematic. I don't want problems, but they are problematic.
Right. The mixture of that and losing his tribe at the same time, I think it was the same thing. It was that tipping point. It's like, that's it. This is, I'm doing it.
Losing Charlie, losing his tribe. He's the last one. He's like, man, these people, they're so terrible. They don't get any consequences. I think also what he thought in his mind as well, probably what Claire thinks in her mind. And he's now taken off his colonial clothes and he kind of adorns himself in a more tribal fashion to come at Hawkins and Ruse, who are, by the way, a whorehouse.
Surprising. Yeah.
So, not surprising. Yeah, he confronts them and basically spears them to death. It's great.
No, I have a question for you for that scene. So when he killed Ruse, loved it. Like, that was awesome. Do you think it was Claire should have killed Hawkins instead of Billy?
Yeah, maybe.
That was my only thing of like, I kind of wanted her to have that final, like, I told you I was, you know, I'm coming for you kind of thing. But I mean, I get why they had Billy do it, but I kind of wish it was her, at least with Hawkins.
When she came out of the tavern, she kind of fell. Like, the anxiety, like the stress of confronting him, it just like it took it out of her. And Billy saw that. So it would, in the movie, it would have been good, but I don't know if her character would have been able to do it. Because even having that conversation like took everything out of her. She
let alone going in and like,
going in and trying to kill him. So Billy does kill Hawkins. He's having sex with a whore. Well, I'm gonna call her he's at a whorehouse. He's
right. I mean,
yeah, that's what it is in the movie. So
right, you're not going there to play checkers.
I'm not calling those women that. That's probably, I'm sure what it is. A prostitute house, a bathhouse. I'm not sure. He sees Ruse. Ruse shoots Billy, but Billy is able to live for a long time after getting shot in the stomach. I'm not sure, but he stabs
like
Ruse in the throat. Man, that was so satisfying. Just like slowly bringing in that spear. This is where the horror aspect comes in, by the way. Yes. Everything is so brutal in this movie because even though slave owners are like, oh, I'm going to take some of these Aborigines people souvenir and like cuts one of their heads off. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's not a family flick. Yeah.
Oh my God. Billy kills Ruse. That's good. But however, Claire does see it all. She does see it all, and she can confirm they are dead or will die, or they don't have medicine for that. So,
right? No, not at all.
They don't have medicine for
that. That time.
No, not at that time. Not in 1875. And so they escape very quickly. Also, I think like Billy. I was like, man, why would Billy do this? But thinking about it more, Billy has nothing to lose. Like Claire, they both have nothing to lose. They don't have their family.
It makes sense. Yeah.
He's like, screw these people. Like, well, let's just get them. They suck. They're the worst people. But Claire and Billy have a conversation earlier on, right before he does that she's like, what do you do when people are bad like this, like these guys? And then he's like, oh, well, they talk to the elders. They talk to the ancestors. She's like, well, what if they never come out good? Like, what if they always remain bad? And he's like, oh, then we kill them. So it's interesting because in the movie, the colonials are like, those are savages, but they have a system for when people are bad. The Englishmen are the savages. They're doing the worst things and there are no consequences to their actions. So they're able to continue to be savage. Correct. I hate these colonialists. They suck.
Correct.
You're terrible. Billy and Claire ride off into the night and they end up in this beautiful beach in Tasmania. So nice. Like, beautiful.
Such a perfect, I think, ending for the movie.
Yeah.
And the thing I liked about that ending, so obviously Billy is just, that's it. Like, he's going down. He shot in the stomach. You can't recover from that. And what he does on the beach is the same thing he did earlier when he was doing his when he saw the birds. He goes, "That's me," and he was doing the call.
Yes, the
He did,
blackbird.
yeah, and then he did it again at the very, very end. And it was such a beautifully sad scene of him just doing his thing as, with his tribe and how they go about things. And it was just her having no dialogue, just watching.
Well, she doesn't have dialogue, but she does sing another song.
She does. Yeah. Yeah.
She does sing another song, but I think the song that she sang right before to Hawkins was to portray what she has lost, like in her love. But this song was to kind of give her like a hope that maybe that, that the kind of like this has ended. And yeah, even so kind of some like maybe something hopeful she might have some hope in her life potentially, but that there has been so much sadness and bloodshed.
Where do you even go from there? I mean,
Yeah, where do you even go but to try to move on? Billy does end up dying on that beach.
Yep.
That beautiful beach, beautiful, that beautiful sunset.
I mean, what a great location if that's your final location, to be honest.
It's the final location, the final scenes in the film. And Claire and Billy have both been able to be vindicated, and they have both been able to seek out their revenge against specifically Claire, who did her wrong. But these people, all the colonialists, I mean, those people are bad. That they got, Roos and Iago, not as bad, but Hawkins, terrible, which I'm sure led to a lot of the deaths of the Aborigines. I don't think Hawkins, I don't think specifically eliminated like Billy's tribe, but it's all part of the same thing.
It's all part of the same
terrible people. They're all part of the same terrible people. So man, what an impactful movie. And like I said, a lot of people I feel like don't know about it. They know the Babadook, iconic, but this movie, there's not like the monster is the humanity or is the humans. The humans are the monsters, which is true. And and you can't feed them with worms and keep them in a basement like the Babadook. You got to get rid of them. They suck. Man, so terrible.
And it's crazy though, because both films, Babadook and this one, they both have themes of family, kids, trauma. Like it's a shared theme. It's just told obviously different, ones more realistic, ones more told, psychologically, but they both have that same kind of feel together, which she does very, very well as a writer and director. She knows how to tackle the situations in ways that are entertaining and both creepy realism and creepy psychologically.
I know that Jennifer Kent, in an interview, she said that it took her 5 years of research to get the aspects of like this colonial time correct. And she worked with researchers and like Aborigines, people, elders, to make sure that they were portraying everything correctly. So I'm not going to say that this is like, it's like 100% historically accurate, but I'm going to say it's like she did her research. So I think it is very accurate.
As accurate as you can be.
As accurate as you can get with with I'm sure the books and the stuff that is available for us to read and like know now, through stories and whatever thing too. So I'm going to say that. So I feel like I also like that film because of that, because it is a fictionalized story. However, a lot of these events could have really happened, but this scene or like this events actually happened in real world. This war, what they were doing in Tasmania, the colonialists. I mean, the story is fake,
but the events
are real.
Happened. Yeah. But she handled it with so much care and respect, like you said, with her doing 5 years of research. So
she did 5, right. So it's like from the Babadook, it seemed she said she had like a story in mind that she wanted to show of like a woman. And then it just progressed to be like, to have it in this colonial, like Black War time in 1825. And it kind of just like kept evolving from there. She's like, this is like a really good like time period to like try to portray like a lot of the concepts and themes that I want for the movie. She said like she says she has a central idea and then she keeps building around the central idea, and then that's how we got this movie. So the central idea in this movie I think is going to be, well, it is also grief but it's also grief
a little bit.
I would also say it has like woman empowerment. It also has like woman ability. I don't know. There's a lot of themes.
There's a lot of themes.
Yeah, there's a lot of themes in this movie. I guess she has like one central concept. I'm not sure what it is specifically for this movie, but there's a lot of themes in this movie that they, like racism, class, sexism. everything is pretty much touched on in this movie, but not necessarily in dialogue, which
No.
is what I like. It's not like, oh, you're being racist, you're being sexist. No, they just are. They just are being that.
It's a more emotionally, you're emotionally more invested when you see things instead of hearing them, to show instead of tell. Yeah,
Yeah.
this movie does it very well.
Yeah, I love this movie. I'm gonna say this is one. I was telling you the events in this movie are horrible, but the movie itself is so good, and I really resonate with that Tasmania landscape. Oh, I was also going to bring up there's two scenes where normally we have like a very cloudy sky, and I don't know if they meant this intentionally, but that when she kills the Yago, it suddenly becomes sunny. Suddenly, it's sunny,
that's right.
very sunny. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if this was intentional. But then after she has a conversation with Hawkins in that tavern, it also becomes very sunny as well. So it's kind of like I guess like through the lighting, it could have been just lighting that they brought in, that she's feels more alleviated, that she's accomplishing her mission. She's getting the vindication. She's getting the revenge that she so rightfully deserves. And there's the lighting, the scenery. I mean, this movie just hits it on all the fronts for me. I love this movie. This movie's great.
I really do
think they're terrible.
Yeah, the events are terrible, but I do agree. I think more people need to know about this movie, but I'm actually glad I went into it blind, to be honest. I'm glad I didn't watch any trailers or anything, because it just I think it felt different for me seeing all this for the first time. I'll give it honestly a 9 to 10 maybe. I thought it was fantastic, hard to watch, but very, very good movie.
Yes, I would say if you've gone through anything like an abuse situation or potentially like lost a child, this could be very difficult to watch the first 20 minutes. Definitely. And, they said that people walked out of the theater, it's very heavy, but you know what? We don't, like we said, the events are fictionalized, but I'm sorry, the story is fictionalized, but the events are true. So something like this could have very well happened to a real person during this times. So
very well likely. Yeah.
And she says that there is something to be said about making something too Hollywood. That's why she's an indie director. Something too Hollywood and sanitized. But she wants to portray like real, raw emotions, real things that people have actually gone through and put on the screen. And it is difficult to watch. And I think that's kind of what makes it good. But, it's not gratuitous. It's not gratuitous.
It's done in a way where it's shocking, but it's not so visually shocking where it's borderline. It's like things like a Game of Thrones, like everything's out there in the open. No, she did a good job with that. I totally thought.
Like the slave owners like taking the head as a trophy. We see the start of a knife cut, but we don't see we don't see gratuitous things happening in the movie. We see the baby situation as well. That we saw it a little bit at kind of like the corner of our eye in the film, but it wasn't like if you've ever seen The Coffee Table, La Mesita, baby situation. Okay, maybe that was a little bit gratuitous there, but the movie's not gratuitous.
It's more suggestive.
It is heavy, the material. Yeah. So I can respect that. That is kind of like it's giving us what we need to know so that we can also feel what the characters are feeling, but not in a way that is like, I mean, are you traumatized? I wouldn't say I'm traumatized, but.
Right. You don't want to be traumatized from seeing that. Yeah.
You don't want to be, she's not traumatizing us from watching this. However, we do understand the severity of the actions and the events that happen because of like showing us just enough. And I can respect that. So I like that they pulled back a little bit because normally I'm like, oh yeah, show that gore. I love that gore. I love that blood. Do it. But it hits differently when it's like, this
reality
could be real.
Exactly.
Yes. This is not like a monster.
No.
Like chomping you up or something like that. This is not like a crazy fictionalized world. This is like a real situation that happened.
Right. Totally agree.
I mean, I give this movie probably as well like a 9 out of 10. I think this movie is great.
Yeah. And I would definitely recommend it.
I would recommend it with the caveat that if you've gone through some things that it could be difficult to watch. And that the movie is very heavy, but as a movie itself, excellent.
Recommending it with like a little warning. A little, yeah.
Just a little bit of a warning. So those are the two movies so far. I don't know if she's working on another movie because it does seem like she takes about 5 years to make a movie. So it's been like approximately 7 years. Sorry, what? Yes, like 7 years.
Yeah. The only thing is she has on here, I don't know, the girl who was plugged in. I don't know if there's a date on that. It's in pre-production. So yeah, that's That's the latest thing,
Yeah, I think she likes to take her time,
which I appreciate because like
which I appreciate because it makes it like you can tell that there has been a lot of thought put into this.
right, it's not just thrown, like she said, a Hollywood kind of like, here you go. Very quick to get something out.
Yeah, very quick, and also just seems like a cash grab. This is definitely not a cash grab.
No, not at all.
Not a cash grab at all. She has like an idea and a message she wants to portray, and that's what the movie is. And also kind of like putting in things of the history of like Australia, Tasmania as well. She was interested in that. So, I mean, that's not marketable. So,
No. So
it's
now
not
I want to
marketable like
see
a superhero movie or like a slasher movie,
right.
those
There's
are
no
very
real, like,
profitable.
IP for this. Yeah.
No, there's not an IP for this.
I want to see her that other film, the 2005 Monster. I want to see more of what she does because she's good. She's good. She's really good at what she does as writer and director.
Yeah, she's really good. The Girl Who Plugged In, yeah, it's in pre-production. Maybe we'll get it in the next 2 or 3 years, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's taking the time to make these movies like really good. And the Babadook, even though I have my complaints about the set, still had like a really good like message and concept overall.
Yeah, it
And
was
then
a
the
fun.
Nightingale just takes that to another level. Now I feel like she has progressed so much from you see that movie and then you see the next movie, and you're like, wow, this is like she is hitting those themes, she's hitting those marks like even more so. And I like that. Well, I would say Clare in The Nightingale, she's the final girl, right?
Technically
she's
she
the
is.
final
Yeah.
girl in the movie. She's the final girl, but she has gone through a lot of crap to be the final girl.
Both characters in Babadook and Nightingale, they both need something.
Yeah, they both have gone through. Well, the Nightingale one, she's gone through
Worse.
more worse stuff, but
Yeah.
then the Babadook girl, the Babadook main girl. I guess she's the final girl. Not really.
Not really.
Not really. No, it wasn't like that. But in the
Not really.
Nightingale, it is because it's like people are coming at her like the whole time in the movie.
And she survived.
She survived all the way to the end. Poor Billy. I wish he would have survived, but he didn't. Poor guy. Poor guy. So let's see. Any final thoughts on both of the movies? I would recommend them both.
Yep.
I do like The Nightingale personally more. I do think that the Babadook is good. But I think The Nightingale takes it up like several notches, and I really like The Nightingale. And when I bring it up, a lot of people have not even heard of it. Or
I didn't.
They have no idea. It's hard to market. Like what would the trailer be for that?
I don't even know. But I agree with you though. Both of these movies I enjoyed. Final thoughts. Both of these movies I thought they were great. I did like Nightingale better than Babadook. Babadook was still fun, but the realism of that kind of horror of things that can actually happen to people in the Nightingale and the performances alone in that movie were just great. So I would recommend them both. To be honest, I would say watch Nightingale first, then the Babadook because it's a little bit lighter. If you're to watch them both,
I would say I guess they're both listed as psychological horror, but I would say the Nightingale's more psychological horror and the Babadook is just more horror, just more horror.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because you have the monster aspect of it, and it has more horror tropes in it, where the Nightingale has like very little horror tropes. There's a little bit, but like very mild.
Very much, yeah. It's still more serious in tone.
Yeah, it's still more serious in tone. It's not as like the Babadook is a cunty bitch, but we don't have anything like that in the Nightingale. The humans, they all suck. No, I'm just kidding. The colonial men suck. Even though his Hawkins sergeant guy in that tavern, he was like, what the crap? Like, I think he was appalled at the behavior. Maybe that guy was a stand-up gentleman. In my mind, I like to think that, but maybe they all suck.
You never know.
Probably not. I mean,
probably not. But I mean, it's
but maybe he wasn't as bad as Hawkins.
Right.
Terrible character. I did see I did want to leave some final notes. I did see an interview. Man, they were like grilling Sam and Aisling about their characters, about the movie being too heavy, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's not the only aspect of the movie. It is heavy, but that's not the only aspect of that's the first 20 minutes. Then it's like the rest of the kind of like revenge arc. So we should be focusing a little bit more on that as well. Like the first 20 minutes is what sets off the events, but that's not the whole movie.
Right. But I get why they're grilled on that, because it's like that scene is such a hard scene to watch. So it's like, let's talk about that first and then we'll talk about the rest. So I get it. I totally understand that.
Yeah, it is. And it's like if there should be a warning, it's like honestly, you don't really see that much, like
You don't.
visually, but it is heavy what you're watching. So definitely caveats there, a little bit heavy material in The Nightingale. The Babadook, that's a silly fun time. You could have anyone can watch that. You're good. Well, maybe if you've lost a spouse, you might feel something a little bit because the mother is grieving because of that. But it's not too bad compared to The Nightingale. So Chris, thank you for being on my podcast. I really enjoyed this conversation talking about these movies. I'm so glad you watched The Nightingale. That's a movie that I wish more people would watch, and now you could definitely recommend it to people now too.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, and thanks for recommending that movie to me. I mean, thank you for recommending it, and like you recommended it. Like it was both kind of like
it's both good and bad.
Yeah.
So definitely follow Chris, Nerdistic0 on TikTok and Nerdistic22 on Instagram and YouTube. He covers movie reviews, indie directors. You watch horror movies, some TV shows.
Yeah. TV shows,
TV shows as well. And so, yeah, you do like film content as well. So, you have some good takes on what you watch as well. So I do like watching your videos. But yep, any final thoughts on this podcast?
No, I love it, and I'm excited to see what other movies you talk about and recommend.
Well, yeah, if it's a messed up premise, I'm on top of that. So
I'm there.
Well, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.